Hello everyone. If you're watching this on a playlist, you're probably wondering where the panel is. The panel is coming, but if you're watching this on a playlist and you haven't skipped to the next video, which you probably will do, this is a little introduction, a little intro, so a prologue, so to speak, or an epilogue, depending on when you're watching this part, of the first ever MultiMediaMouth Panel Royale that was conducted last year, around this time last year, if you want to call it, over at Loading Bar. First off, I should say who I am. I am Eoin Mason. I am the co-founder, president, and editor-in-chief. More importantly, I am the head of the panel that you will be watching. And first off, apologies for the background. This is my room. So my desk is a bit of a mess. All you can really see is my cup for my bottle from when I did some shifts at the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. Hopefully that's what you see. My room is a bit of a mess, but I'm working on it, and I'll probably try and do some stuff in here anyway. My point should go on to so I did the panel. I organized the panel. I sold the tickets, did everything else. So I'm going to use this video to kind of explain why I did the panel. About panelists, there's some updates ever since the panel came out, so I thought I should update you guys about what's the deal with some of our really awesome panelists and why it happened and what's for the future of the Panel Royale as a concept. So I've been running MultiMediaMouth with Chris Nelson, who co-founded the site with me for 6 years. Be 7 later this year. It'll be really weird. And we have been looking for a way to have an event that we can put our hat on and, establish ourselves as a website. There have been different ideas that we've thrown around, different, suggestions from people, but I just thought at the top of my head, around November time, I thought I'd do a panel. And the reason I wanted to do a panel was because, one, it's really simple, in theory. It's much more simple than trying to organize a party, organizing a venue, getting party favors or whatever. I thought so until guys at Geek Agenda pretty much spoiled that for me. Made it like, oh, it's really easy. We didn't have, we've been really lucky with the website, but we needed something to help establish ourselves, establish our brand, establish what we do. Brand sounds really cheesy, but whatever. Establish what we do as a website. So the panel, I kind of just went up to the guys at Loading Bar, who've been really cooperative throughout the whole thing. Just kind of said, hey, can I book the room for this certain date, for the 18th of December? They said yeah, and I needed to finalize things about money before, basically all the money that I got from the tickets went to Loading Bar, so then they could pay the fee for renting out the room and stuff. So that got organized, and I feel I wanted to do a panel because I like hearing from other people. I like, talking to other people. I like getting their stories and hearing what they do. So, and I've met a lot of really awesome people this year and throughout this 6 years I've been doing this website. So I started organizing it around the time that I was able to kind of confirm the venue. So I sent out some emails to people, and the first person who replied back and said yes was Guy Cocker. Guy I had met at the end of a BAFTA social networking session. Not social networking. Yeah, it is social networking. Screw it. Social networking is not just online. I'll say that much. So I met him, and he kind of said to me something for a guy who's been in the industry as long as he has done all the stuff he worked on. He kind of said to me, "Hey, if you need anything, just let me know." So I kind of there was a part of me that kind of thought, well, this guy's just saying it because he's probably heard it all the time. But no, Guy's been one of the panel's biggest supporters. and actually all the panelists have been the panelists' biggest supporters. I'll give it that much. So he came on first, and that was really awesome because we have that perspective. Because that's what I kind of wanted from the panel, was to reflect, hopefully, each perspective of the industry, and I think I did that well. I did that really well, I think. Then I got Mitu and Sophia, and I wanted Mitu because she developed Red Shirt. Red Shirt came out like last year during the whole console hype, and I've played it twice. I got addicted twice, and it's a really addictive game. Like, even playing it again, I kind of said to her, and I thought, this might sound really bad. I said I didn't want to play your game again because I knew I was going to get addicted, and I thought that came out wrong. But it didn't, and I'm glad. But then I ended up playing it on the iPad again, and well, I first played it on PC, and then there was an iPad beta at Eurogamer. First played it Rezzed beta, and it's really good. It's still really addicted. If an iPad version happens, then I think people should get it because it's really well put together. It might have improved since last time, but it was really good. And I've interviewed her for the website, which I'll probably put a link to that below. Sophia, I met at that same kind of networking thing I met Guy at, and I remember the introduction, the conversation like it was yesterday. Like, I went up to her, and there was somebody else with her, forgotten the name of, that's really bad. And I said, hey, I said who I was, and I asked her what she's doing. She said, well, I'm a developer, but I'm also going to be the first, going to soon be the first developer in residence for the Victoria and Albert Museum. And I was awestruck. Like, I was really like, wow. Because that doesn't happen. Like, that isn't usually a position that's open. Like, it's not something you hear about. But she got the role out of like hundreds of applicants, and that's really great for her, and it's really great for video games in general. Because she's using that residency to create a video game with the Victoria and Albert Museum, which sounds really exciting. I'm hoping to be able to go down to the Victoria and Albert Museum before March 2014. I encourage all of you to do so. If you watch this video like in April, then it doesn't matter. You missed it. Dope. Anyway, so getting her was huge, and she's won BAFTAs. She's on every top 30 under 30 list under the sun. And both Mitu and Sophia are both BAFTA Breakthrough Brit nominees, which was a thing like BAFTA did, where they got film, TV, and video game people to like kind of apply to be, if they did their first thing that year. James Floyd was also on that list, who was in Christ, it's one of my favourite movies of the last couple of years. Oh god, that's really bad. I'll think about it and I'll tell you. But like, it's people like him and people like Sophia and Mitu, and just people who've been in the industry and just making their big breaks or doing something really cool. So that's great. She also co-founded Swallowtail Games. Sophia did. I'll put all these links below so people know who established it. So, I mean, for the panel, I wanted, my intention was to have 2 men and 2 women, because one, there's not enough diverse panels in video games, and it's crazy. But it's not like it's something that can be excused, and it's not even something that is hard to do, because what I found really strange, especially places like BAFTA have been really supportive of this stuff with video games, and that's great. But I find it weird when they seem to have panels where, I mean, I mean, you know, the talent they have on their panels is really great, but there are some weird points where men seem to outnumber women on, like, for example, the Question Time panel, which had 3 men and 1 woman on it. That was not intentional because that was supposed to be 2 women, and then, you know, one of them dropped out, and that's fine. I'm not, you know, I'm not ragging on anybody. I'm not, you know, because some people might have dropped out. So, you know, I'm not kind of like slapping everybody with a brush, but it's kind of weird to me when I can pull off, you know, something like that, and these organizations find it, you know, these other organizations, not like BAFTA, but other established companies can't seem to do panels like that, and it's weird. So I emailed a few people, and none of them were getting back to, well, actually, that's not true. 2 of them did, and I'll give them props that both of them did, and they kind of said they can't do it because they were on vacation, or, you know, they have another commitment. That's fine, you know. Earlier this year, for, you know, Laura's, I mean, she requested me not to really talk about it that much. There was an incident at Eurogamer involving Laura Kate Dale, and I mean, you've probably heard about this if you're in the video games industry. If not, I'll put some links below and stuff. Where she was put in a situation where, as a result of that situation, she went to Eurogamer. She tweeted a complaint to Eurogamer, and from that came a whole bunch of insults because she's a transgender woman, and just all these abuse and everything. I mean, she talks about it more in the diversity section of the panel, but it was something. I don't want to feel like I cashed in on that. Like, I don't feel like I went, you know, let's get Laura in, you know, she's been through this. But it's something that I felt in the panel need to be kind of addressed. And I felt like it's something that happened this year that should be talked about. That should be, you know, remind people of that situation. Because, I mean, I heard about it from Mewtwo's husband. He was the first person to tell me about it. And I didn't really know the situation properly. I mean, to be honest, I you know, because it was really loud, I heard idiot rather than another word that was used. So when I found out about the situation, I obviously followed her in support. And now, you know, I don't want... Yeah, like... It's something that's addressed in the panel, and I'm not going to go into it right now, you know, because she talked about it better than I ever could, because she went through it, obviously. But it's something that, you know, these are things that still need to be reminded. So I emailed her and I asked if she was interested, and she came on. And I'm really proud about the fact that it kind of went the other way. It's not equality that I wanted. It's not the equality that I wanted. But it stood us out. Like, the fact that there were people going up to the loading bar staff, like, after seeing the post and saying, hey, this is great that you've got these amount of women on the panel coming up, and just coming up to me going, yeah, this is great that you've got all these women on the panel. And when I was talking about it to people, getting them to come, and going, yeah, this is great. Like, that really makes me proud, and that makes me, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy. You know, besides my autism, like, I'm a guy who has privilege, so to speak. But MultiMediaMouth was established as a website to give other voices a say, give other people a say. And I don't know if we've fully done it ourselves, but we've got women writers in who do reviews, like, they do features. I can think of, like, Paula, Chelsea, Hannah, who've all done reviews for us in the past, whether it's for the London Film Festival, London Lesbian and Gay Film Festival, Sundance London, just stuff like that, you know, events that we've had people cover, and that has always been MultiMediaMouth's main aim, is to give other people voices. It's, you know, it's great for me to say, you know, it grows my experience as a writer, and it does. And I'm not saying that at all, but that's what MultiMediaMouth is. We are here to give people voices, and after there was a discussion earlier this year about diversity on panels, and I've been suggested names by people for potential panelists, which kind of leads me to the future of the panels. There will be another panel in December. I will guarantee that right now. The first one was a big success, and people were asking me constantly, when's the next one? When's the next one? So December will be the next video games one. I want to do in August. Like, I don't know if this is going to happen, but I want to do a film panel. I want to do a film version of the Panel Royale, and I have people in mind who I'd love to ask. I'm not going to say them right now. I don't want to jinx anything. So I'm going to just say that I want that to happen. But if people are talking about when the next Panel Royale will be, when the next event, I'm going to say August and December. Because August is when nothing much happens in film, and December is, let's keep it established. So, I've been given suggestions by people for panelists. So I'm going to open up the forum and just, give it to you guys. Like, in the comment section below on this one, along with your feedback about the panel, just suggest me, who do you want to hear from? Like, film people, like, who I can think of names off the top of my head, but, I want your ideas. I want this thing to be as open as possible. I want you to be able to hear from the people you want to hear from. Obviously, don't go too ambitious, because some of these people have agents, and they might be difficult. I don't know. I might as well try anyway, but give me names. Give me people you want to hear from, whether they're, they're actors, directors, producers, different video game developers, marketing people, community managers, like, as long as they can come to London and potentially Ireland. My mum threw me the idea, but, I might throw that. Like, if you can, if you're in London, if you can come to London, I also venues, like, any ideas that you might have, like, just give me suggestions. I'm really excited to continue this, and I want to continue this, and I want to do it as well as I can. So the only other things I have to talk to you about, the first thing, I'm going to be positive here. Some of our panelists have successes. I'm just going to get my phone, because some of these are on my notes, and I do not want to lose them. Alright, first off, Sophia George. She was put on the list of develops 30 under 30. This was ever since the panel. She's on the list of 30 most influential people in gaming. There's a 6th annual list. I'll put the link below. It's huge. Like, some of the people she's on the list with is awesome. And, it's great. And it's great to, and she's so great, and she's so, she's so modest. She shouldn't be modest. Stop being modest. Stop it, Sophia. I know you're watching. I wish this was in 3D now, so I can just go, ooh. Alright. Me Too, Kandeka, got an honorable mention for excellence in narrative at the Independent Games Festival, the IGFs. The IGFs are probably one of the most prestigious independent games festivals in the world. One of the most well-known independent, games awards, going outside of the DICE Awards, outside of BAFTA, outside, these, like, it seems to be DICE, BAFTA, and IGFs. If I'm forgetting one, let me know in the comments. So it isn't a nomination, but, she still should be very pleased with herself for getting, like thousands of games were on that list, right? Thousands of games that could have potentially gone on that list, and she's the one that honorable mentions. That's awesome for her. I'm really happy for her. I have Red Shirt now. I will finally play Red Shirt, and I will probably never see you all again. It's that kind of game. And Laura Kate Dale came second. at the Women Write About Comics Awesome Awards for Geek Feminist. The person she lost to, I forgot her name, but she's a very deserving winner. But I will say it again, if Laura wants me to protest and, go over to their offices or whatever house somebody is in, picket out to get some picket signs and protest, let me know. But it's still very cool. It was a very competitive award in terms of like online voting. It came to the very last day, and it was very neck between several nominees, including Laura. And coming second is awesome. She's great. I'm so glad I had her on the panel. Guy Cocker has the Guy Cocker podcast. The latest episode, by the time this goes up, he's with Matthew Reynolds, who's the games editor over at Digital Spy. He's a lovely bloke, and if you're watching, now the panel's up. Now you can watch it. He's had it's a very good podcast. You should check it out. Also, Laura, check out Indie Haven. Check out the podcast they have there. They're also very good. And I'll have links to everybody else's stuff. And I've been going on for long enough. So without further ado, technical problems. You might notice a microphone problem. Like what I wanted for the panel was like a single microphone, like in the middle of the table or somewhere, so then it picks up everybody's voices. So what you might notice is that the microphone gets passed around, and as a result of that, there is some people aren't heard as well, and I apologize in advance for that. And that it was beyond our control. Technical equipment. I'd like to but I would still like to thank James Coltane and Chris Maddox, who are from You Have Issues, which is a MultiMediaMouth favorite. I'll link you to the channel below. They've been so supportive in terms of editing, in terms of putting this all together, filming it, getting the audio right. And he says it's 85% listenable, so that's great. And any feedback you have concerning this, reply to us. Like I'm very happy to listen to all comments. Hopefully that people do comment on this particular part. You're free to comment on the other videos, but this one's kind of an established section. So hopefully that doesn't hinder the enjoyment of the panel. The panel was a big success for MultiMediaMouth. Obviously there'll be more. Dates will come whenever. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you go check out their stuff. Buy Red Shirt. Go to the Victoria Albert Museum. Listen to Guy Cocker's podcast and listen to Laura's podcast. Follow them on Twitter. Tweet them to Hades. And use the hashtag #NPR if you so wish. If you don't, just tweet about it. Hopefully I'll find it somehow. You can tweet me, Owen Mason. I'll put the other Twitter accounts. So without further ado, I'm sorry I'm rambling. You are now about to watch the MultiMediaMouth Panel Royale. Thank you very much.